You were in the middle of a sentence, you had something important to say, and someone cut you off, spoke right over you as if your words meant nothing. You felt that heat rise in your chest, that familiar frustration. Maybe you went quiet, maybe you raised your voice. Either way, you lost something in that moment. But what if there were words so precise, so anchored in calm authority that people simply stopped interrupting you? Not because you shouted, not because you dominated, but because your presence demanded respect. 2,000 years ago, the Stoic philosophers mastered this. And today, you will learn 6 phrases drawn from their wisdom that will change how people speak to you forever. The ancient Stoics were not passive men. Marcus Aurelius commanded the Roman Empire. Seneca advised emperors and navigated the deadliest politics in history. Epictetus, a former slave, spoke with such authority that senators traveled across the empire to sit at his feet. These men understood something most people never learn. True power in conversation does not come from volume. It comes from emotional discipline. It comes from the unshakable calm of someone who knows exactly who they are. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. This is the foundation. When someone talks over you, the battle is not with them. It is with your own reaction. The Stoics taught that we cannot control what others do, but we have absolute authority over how we respond. And that response, delivered with calm precision, is more powerful than any shouted comeback could ever be. Here is the first phrase, "I wasn't finished." 3 words, no anger, no explanation, no apology. You say it calmly, you say it once, and then you pause. You let the silence do the work. This phrase works because it is a boundary stated as fact. You are not asking permission to speak. You are not debating whether you deserve to be heard. You are simply stating reality. Epictetus taught that we must know what is within our control. Your right to finish your thought is within your control. Claim it. The second phrase, "I hear you, and I'd like to finish my point." This is Stoic wisdom applied with precision. You acknowledge the other person, which disarms their ego. Then you redirect with quiet authority. Seneca wrote that anger is a temporary madness. When someone interrupts you, they are often acting from impulse, not malice. By acknowledging them first, you refuse to meet impulse with impulse. You stay in control of the conversation's emotional temperature. The third phrase, "Let's take turns. You'll have my full attention when it's yours." This reframes the entire dynamic. You are not fighting for space. You are offering a higher standard of conversation. You are saying, "I will listen to you completely, and I expect the same." Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that other people's actions reflect their character, not ours. This phrase elevates the interaction. It reveals you as someone who values genuine exchange over verbal combat. The fourth phrase, "I notice you've interrupted me 3 times now." No accusation, no emotion, just observation. This is practical Stoicism at its finest. You hold up a mirror. You name the pattern without attacking the person. Most people interrupt unconsciously. When you calmly name what is happening, you bring awareness to their behavior without escalating conflict. Epictetus taught his students to observe without judgment first. This phrase does exactly that. It observes, and in that observation, there is undeniable power. The fifth phrase, "I'll wait." Then you go silent. You fold your hands, you breathe. This is perhaps the most Stoic response of all. It requires emotional resilience that most people simply do not have. When you say, "I'll wait," and then actually wait in complete stillness, you demonstrate that you are not desperate to be heard. You are not anxious. You are not reactive. You are simply present, grounded, and willing to let the moment settle. The other person almost always stops talking, because silence from a calm person is profoundly uncomfortable for someone behaving poorly. The sixth phrase, "We can continue this conversation when we're both ready to listen." This is your exit with dignity. Sometimes the wisest move is to withdraw, not in defeat, but in mastery. Seneca wrote, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." This phrase gives both parties that delay. It says, I value this exchange enough to have it properly, and I respect myself enough to refuse a conversation where I am not heard. Now let us be honest about why this is difficult. Modern life trains us to react instantly. Social media rewards the loudest voice. We are surrounded by interruption, notifications, opinions, noise. When someone talks over you, every instinct screams to fight back, to get louder, to prove your dominance. But the Stoics understood that this reaction is the real defeat. The moment you lose your composure, you have handed your power to someone else. You have let another person dictate your emotional state, and that is the opposite of self-improvement. That is surrender disguised as strength. So how do you practice this? Start tomorrow morning. Before any conversation, remind yourself of the dichotomy of control. You cannot control whether someone interrupts. You can control your response completely. Choose one phrase. Just one. Commit it to memory. The next time someone speaks over you, pause. Take one breath. Then deliver your chosen phrase with absolute calm. Practice in low-stakes moments first. A friend who talks too much. A colleague in a casual meeting. Build the muscle of calm assertion before you need it in moments that truly matter. In the evening, reflect. Marcus Aurelius ended every day reviewing his actions. Ask yourself, did I maintain my composure today? Did I speak with authority or from reaction? This evening reflection, this ancient Stoic practice, will sharpen your emotional discipline faster than anything else. Over time, something remarkable happens. You stop needing these phrases at all. People sense the shift in you. They feel your calm. They recognize that you are someone who listens fully and speaks with intention. Interruptions decrease naturally because your presence communicates a standard. You become the person in the room others want to hear, not because you fought for attention, but because you embodied something rare: stillness, certainty, self-mastery. This is what the Stoics were truly teaching. It was never about clever phrases or social tactics. It was about becoming someone who cannot be disturbed, someone whose peace does not depend on how others behave. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire while barbarians burned his borders. Epictetus taught freedom while wearing the scars of slavery. They knew that the only dominion that matters is dominion over yourself. When you master that, you do not need to silence anyone. Your silence speaks for you. Remember where we started. Someone spoke over you. You felt small, unseen, but now you understand. Their interruption was never about your worth. It was about their lack of awareness. And your response, calm, measured, grounded in ancient wisdom, that is what defines you. As Epictetus said, it is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. You have the phrases, you have the philosophy. Now go and speak as the Stoics did, with power that needs no volume. Stoicism: master your mind, master your life.